So a spring break, a heartache, I do it all over again. Do it all over
Hi Aries, welcome to my channel. Okay, so for the meditative session I saw the tower. And you know, the tower happens when we kind of have a sudden realization that something might not be going right or something isn't going the way that we want it to. And I also heard the song Circles by Malone. So what I'm thinking is, in that song, Post Malone speaks about kind of how he was waiting on someone else to explain this. He was waiting on someone else to do something for him to get out of a situation. And that's what I feel like with the tower and the sudden realization. It may not have been so sudden, meaning maybe there's something that you've known for a really long time, something that you felt, and instead of changing your situation, you kind of waited for other people to do it for you. And now the tower has come, meaning there's no room left, there's no waiting left, whether it's spirit or who's pushing this situation towards some sort of movement. It feels like you've been kind of stuck waiting on someone else to change the situation for you, and instead spirit's kind of pushing you off that tower and expecting you to do it, not yourself, but I mean, when the tower comes, it sometimes is something that has been prolonged, something that we were stubbornly holding on to, or just kind of passively holding on to. I want to say passive. I don't feel like this is a stubborn thing. I think it's a passive thing. I think that there's been a lot of distractions, and that's been keeping you in a place. And spirit is telling you with this tower moment that it's time for you to kind of move. And I think maybe you were waiting for someone else to kind of say something so that you can get a move on instead of you actually speaking it. And that's why I also got the Ace of Swords and blue for the throat chakra. So a lot of movement happening right now, and it might not be something that you actually want to happen, but I think it's in your best interest to, I mean, it's always in your best interest to want to, I mean, we might not feel like it's in our best interest because it's something that happens kind of fast and kind of quick, and it's not a pleasant feeling, but with this, I think it's moving you towards where you're supposed to be, and that's always a good thing, right? Even though the tower might not feel so good, it's definitely going to lead you towards something that's better. So that's what I got for your meditative session today, Aries. Let's get into your reading. So from these first two cards, I'm seeing that you've been very stuck. Not stuck in a negative way, but you know, when as we get older, we get more stuck in our ways, meaning that's what people say, you're stuck in your ways. And that's what I'm getting with this ivy on the wall. It's giving me a picture of someone who kind of does things their own way, wants things to be a certain way. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when you say stuck, it kind of has like a negative connotation, is because we're energy, right? We're always moving. We're full of energy. Things change every single day. Circumstances change. That's life. We have to kind of be fluid and move. And it's hard for earth signs usually because we're earth signs, you know. I'm a Virgo. That's why I'm saying weird. And I know I'm not speaking to an earth sign, but I could be speaking to an Aries with a lot of earth in their chart. Or maybe just someone who was in a state where for them it was easier to kind of stay focused on what they were doing, which is, again, not necessarily a bad thing, but putting a lot of time and energy into something else. And I just feel like a lot of time has gone by and you have kind of remained in a state of, well, with the emotions being in reverse, it's like maybe a long time working, a long time doing something, investing in a project of yours for your future career, maybe just putting a lot of time and effort into something and not really placing a lot of time into your emotions. You've been putting in work into something, but that has led you to be in a state of not really being emotional. Maybe putting relationships on the back burner, maybe not prioritizing them, thinking that they're kind of a waste of your time, because whatever it is that you're going towards, it's not left you with a lot of time for this, a lot of time to be emotional. So for you, it's kind of, what's the point? I don't have time for this. That's what I'm seeing. And you've had a long time of this maybe no relationship. Maybe it's been a really long time since you've been in a relationship, which is also not a bad thing. It's just, that's what I'm seeing from the cards. And with the Father and thought, I'm seeing this as you, the Emperor, where there's something with your hands in the fire. Anything that the work that you're putting in with your hands, I could be speaking to someone who who works with their hands, or I'm just seeing someone who uses their hands. I don't know, something with your hands is coming up to me. There's like flame in the hands. Maybe it's something that you want to put a lot of action towards now, or it's kind of like whatever you're creating, or whatever you put it's not your mind though, it's your hands. It's whatever you put your hands on, it kind of, I don't know, it prospers. The fire that you put into things is what makes your reality. And I feel like right now you want to put some sort of action into your emotions now, because with the Queen of Water, I don't know if this is you or someone else, but you've been in a lot of thought and a lot of reflection about what it is that you want, and you're realizing that you do want this emotional aspect in your life. You do. At first I feel like you didn't put any placement on it because it was kind of a waste of your time, and you felt like it was a waste of time because you were so busy in your career. But now I feel like you're accepting the fact that you do want some sort of relationship, or some sort of emotional aspect in your life where it's not just you. You know, we can have a lot of pets, we can have a lot of family members, but it doesn't take the place of someone who you're in a relationship with, right? It doesn't. Unfortunately or fortunately. And also we have a relationship with spirit, we have a relationship with God. And again, it's still not the same as a physical, a person who's like in our face every single day. A person that we could talk to. Maybe this is a Cancer, or maybe you have Cancer in your chart as well. But I'm just seeing that I think now is the time that you do want to be more fluid, and you do want to be more open to an experience with someone else. You're changing your mind. You have accomplished so much. You have put yourself out there in career aspects. In the career aspect of your life, you have made a lot of strides. But now it's like you're kind of restless. You want to put your hands on someone. That's what I'm getting. Like, you want to put your hands on someone. You want to be that type of person. That's the energy that's running through you. That's all you can think about. It's like, yeah, I've got all the success now. I've kind of done all the work in career, and now it's can I be emotional towards someone, or is this someone else in my life is there someone in my life that's offering me something that is in terms of emotion, and I've taken a long time to think and reflect on if that's even something that I want. And I think that it is something that you want, but I do see a challenge in the way that it is that you're thinking. It could be the way that you think about this person, or the way that relationships have left you in the past. I think with the death and rebirth card at the end, it's going to take kind of a change in the way that you are thinking, a change in the way you have been, a change in the way you see relationships, a change in the way you see emotions. This 10 of Wands, I see it as kind of the ego card. And what I see is that if you really want to be in this emotional state, change the way things have been, you need to drop the ego. And the ego, it's what we have formed to protect us. Our ego is formed in ways to protect us. We need our ego. But to what extent? To what extent are you protecting yourself? To what extent are you protecting yourself from these emotions and these relationships that you think might not be prosperous for you? I feel like you think that there's nothing going to be more prosperous than me, myself, doing the work. So why involve another person? And I think that's your ego. Your ego is the one that's telling you, I don't really need it. It's not something that I need because I can do everything on my own. But at the end of the day, you can't. You cannot replace another person with a plant, a dog, a cat, like an experience. It just doesn't work like that. And I think that's your ego that's telling you that you don't need it because you're better off without it. It causes a lot of frustration. It's a lot of time. It's very time consuming. I'm hearing time. It's very time consuming. How will I find the time to even put into a relationship? I think that's your ego. I think if you were involved with the right person, it wouldn't be about that. So why are you telling yourself that it's about time? I also feel like you think that this person, like someone that comes near you, might be wanting only money. I see like the 5 of Wands here. This person's holding up jewels, this person's very decadent. They're very prosperous. And I feel like with the person behind them kind of crying, it's like you might have told somebody, well, out of your ego, well, this person kind of only wants me for this. Like now that I have this career, now that I have all these options, I mean, I'm a successful person. Of course they want me. Why wouldn't they want me? Did they want me before? Kind of putting someone else down for something that failed. Kind of seeing relationships in that way where now it's about protecting yourself. Well, I have to protect myself because of all this, and this person only wants me for that. And I think that's your ego, 100%. Your ego. If someone, yes, you can be successful, yes, you can be prosperous, but you didn't make all this for yourself, did you? I mean, we all work for ourselves, but at the end of the day, did you do all this just to end up being alone with all your possessions? And is that the reason that you did all this work? I thought that the reason that we did work was for freedom and for helping others. And I feel like now that you do have this prosperous new beginning, you're kind of looking at it as a way of excluding people out of your life, where this person's not even on my level. This person's they're not as prosperous as me. They haven't worked as hard as me. Do you see all the things that I've done? I can't be with like a bum who's not doing anything with their life, or, not even knowing who this person is, not just making judgments, placing judgment on people. And that's kind of, it's a normal thing because it's our ego just trying to protect us. But at the end of the day, it's not a healthy way of thinking. It's not a healthy way of being, and it's all our ego. So with the death and rebirth card, I think that we have, if this is the way we were seeing things, we're stepping into a new perspective. And if this is the way that we're seeing things currently, then there's a call to change that way of thinking, because it's evident here that you do want to be an emotional person and put yourself out there and having money or having a good career isn't an excuse to push people out of your life. And it's not an excuse to think you're better than someone else. And I don't even think that this is something that you think, I don't think you consciously know that this is how you're thinking, but this could be in your subconscious mind where it's telling you that you're, I don't want to say that you're better than other people, but I think that this new found security is changing you in a way where you think it's for your good, but it's not, because it's just your ego telling you that it's for your good. And I don't want you to lose out on a lot of opportunities and great opportunities, love, romance, the whole experience, because your ego is telling you that you're wrong. Your ego is telling you they're wrong, they're bad. They just want my possessions. They just want me for this, and leaving people out in the dust because that's just your ego trying to protect you. And maybe a relationship has hurt you in the past and this is all a form of protection. But now with this new claimed security, it comes with more, you didn't earn all this for them, no. But what's the problem in sharing it? This security that you have now, remember that it's a gift and it's from spirit. It's from yourself and your hard work, but spirit also had something to do with it. And the best thing that we can do is if this security to you means so much, then you have to look at why. When we have possessions that we kind of forget everything else, and we only work on our possessions and we only work on our career, and we think that that's the only thing that we need, it starts to become something negative, right? Anything in an excess is negative. So if you're thinking that, if this is forcing you to kind of seclude yourself from people and kind of look at people, I don't want to say disdainfully, but look at people in another light. Think about how you were when you had no money, and how when you met people and you didn't have something to protect, and you didn't have this ego telling you like, oh, they're after my money, or they're after something, they're just after me because of this. Think about who you were before that, and how open you were to experiences, and how open you were to people. And think about how much you've changed. And some of it could be for the better, and some of it could also be for the worse. And what you should do is thank God every day for what you have, and thank Spirit, thank the universe, whoever it is that you thank them, and ask them, in what ways can you kind of work with your ego to protect it, and also to experience what it is what you want to experience. Because right now I see that you could be blocking it with your ego. But let's get some advice now. I went straight to the Divine Feminine deck, which is weird. I usually go for the animals first. Okay, so with this card, with Lilith, the first woman, you know that she was, maybe the story will mean something to you guys, but she was Adam's first wife, and she decided that when he asked her to be subservient to him, she said no, because she felt like they were equals, and she felt like there was no need for her to be subservient to men when they're equal. Why would I bow down to you when we're on the same level, right? And Adam didn't like that, so she was like, I'm out. And she ended up being with Archangel Samuel instead. And Adam asked for her back, and she was like, no, because the way that you see me is as someone who's beneath you, and I'm not. And the card says sorry, the card says, the first woman, I'm the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. And I think the message is, what is it that you desire? What is it that's keeping you from your desires? Again, is it this monetary kind of, I want to say obsession? Is it the monetary obsession that's keeping you from living with someone else, being with someone else? What is the reason that you do not have all that you desire? That's the question that Lilith is asking. And now let's ask the animals. Whoa, so many. Okay, Aries, for the animal oracle, you got Canary Spirit, sing your own song. When I see sing your own song, it just reminds me of doing something completely independent of what others think. Maybe there's some judgment placed on something that you desire, and you feel that you're going to be judged for what it is that you want in your life. And with sing your own song and Lilith, it's like, what it is that you desire is what you desire, and there should be no reason to feel, oh, well, what will others say? I just feel like you have been through a lot. You're a successful person. Maybe you're a very successful person, and it's like you didn't get to be such a successful person without knowing a lot, without having a lot of wisdom and carrying out what it is that you needed to make your career happen, or make the things that you want in your life take place for you. So with sing your own song, it's kind of like, why be embarrassed or ashamed or feel the weight of what others will think of what it is that you truly desire? I kind of feel like there's something you desire, which I feel like it is to be in an emotional relationship with someone, a physical relationship with someone, date someone, meet people. Kind of, that's what I'm feeling. And it's with sing your own song, it might be different from what others expect from you. It might be different than what maybe even you expected for yourself, and maybe that's where it's mostly coming from. It's what did you expect for yourself? But think of Lilith. She just dipped on Adam. She knew who she was, and she knew what she wanted, and she was like, I'm not going to be kind of subservient to anyone. And it's like, why would you be subservient to people's opinions and thoughts when you do know what you do desire and you do have the power to claim it? So with Canary Spirit and Lilith, I think that's the advice. And it's blue also, which we had in the meditative session, blue for the blue chakra, the blue chakra for the throat chakra, blue for the throat chakra, which was to speak on it, to the Ace of Swords, speak on what it is that you want. If it's speaking to someone else about what it is that you want, then that's what you need to do. That's the guidance. And thank you so much, Aries, for being here today.